Your money. Giddy. Yeah, Mac, I'm gone. A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian hair. My criteria compared to your career just isn't fair. I'm a venereal disease.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we are going to be talking about a fragrance from the House of Chanel from the Allure Homme line. This is the flanker that is now exclusively sold either at Chanel boutiques or retailers with a Chanel counter. So no third-party resellers with this one anymore, at least to my knowledge. And we are, of course, talking about Chanel's Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Now, guys, of course, Chanel is a privately held French design house that was started in 1909 when Gabrielle, aka Coco Chanel, opened up a hat store in the ground floor of a Parisian flat. That was sort of a meeting place for the French hunting and socializing elite, and she had the opportunity to have her design seen by the wives and mistresses of a lot of men in the city's aristocracy. And she eventually went on to date a man named Arthur Boy Capel, who was an English socialite and polo player. And he saw the businesswoman in Coco and helped her open up her first boutique called Chanel Modes at the very famous address of 21 Rue Cambon. Now, at the time the store opened, there was already a really well-known and established dressmaker in the area, so Coco couldn't really sell her couture pieces, and she stuck to hats and accessories, but she stayed at it and kept designing, and by 1917, her pieces were on the want list of almost every woman with a bit of disposable income in the city. And one of the pieces she really helped innovate and design was the Chanel suit for women, which sort of allowed every woman to have a modern and feminine appearance while remaining practical and comfortable, which was very important at the time. And in 1921, Chanel really wanted to do something to complement their clothing, so she commissioned a man named Ernest Beau, who was a very well-known perfumer at the time, many think the finest in the world back then. She wanted him to come up with the fragrance for the clothes, and he came up with a few, including what might be the most famous fragrance of all time, the, of course, iconic Chanel No. 5. Now, there's so much history with that scent that we could do an entire another show, probably a series of shows, just on that scent. But I probably found most interesting is that Beau thought what made the fragrances so special was his sort of revolutionary use of aldehydes, which was actually a mistake, and his unprecedented use of a high amount of aldehydes, which is organic compounds of oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen that are now in almost all fragrances, but his use of them back then, that mistake he made, gave the scent a melting winter note that really set it apart from everything else out there. And so Coco loved the scent, and in fact, at first, it was just a gift to regular clients of her shop, but it became so popular that by 1922, she started putting it up for sale, and that was really the start of what we know now as Chanel perfumes. Now, what I find remarkable, guys, is that since Ernest Beau, Chanel has only had two other perfumers. They keep them exclusive, they're loyal to them, and the perfumers loyal to Chanel. After Ernest Beau, Henri Robert took over until 1987, and then in 1987, Jacques Puig took over, and is still running the show, and in fact, the last male scent that he came up with the wildly popular Bleu de Chanel. And he's done a couple of scents for other companies like Tiffany, but he's really been the man at Chanel, sort of like Jean-Claude Ellena is the man at Hermes right now. Chanel started doing their men's scents in 1955 when Henri Robert designed Pour Monsieur, but after that, there was a huge swath of time when there were no more male scents from the company until Puig came out and started really cranking out the men's scents with Antius and Egoiste, and Egoiste did really well. But I think the first retail hit that they had was the scent called Allure Homme. Now, that scent was released in 1999 and really had four main components to it. It had a green freshness, a warm sharpness of pepper, some strength with wood, and some sensuality with labdanum and vanilla. It's a well-rounded and blended fragrance. It's got a good deal of flankers, more so than any other Chanel fragrance in the market, and I'd say for them, it's probably their flagship male scent. I mean, Egoiste and Platinum Egoiste are both gorgeous, but I think the Allure line is really just tasteful, and all of the flankers are are different enough to warrant purchase, and the prices aren't obscene for such high quality. So brass tacks here, 50 ml of Allure Homme Edition Blanche is going to run you $62. 100 ml will run you $84. Again, this fragrance at one time was available at Sephora and department stores. It is now harder to find. Bloomingdale's does have a Chanel counter in the store, so I grabbed this 100 ml bottle there. And Edition Blanche, of course, means the white edition, and that aesthetic certainly shows in the bottle. Let's take a look at the bottle and packaging real quick. Basic Chanel box with the two iconic C's on the top, and then for your scent you have, I love the cap with the two C's, and a decent atomizer, nothing crazy, but it'll do. So very standard, I'd say low-key but really well done, classy bottle. This scent was released in 2008, and your notes on this one are going to be black and pink pepper, leather, Sicilian lemon, Calabrian bergamot, sandalwood, Oriental Accords, Brazilian tonka, white musk, Haitian vetiver, ginger, vanilla, amber, and cedarwood. A lot going on in this scent, and it's done extremely well. Wow. Let me talk about why I picked this as my first Chanel scent, because I mainly like all of them and plan on getting all of the general releases and quite a few of the exclusives as well. I like Antaeus, I like Ego West and like Platinum Ego West too. I haven't smelled Pour Monsieur. I really like Allure Homme, and for me the jury is still really out on Bleu de Chanel. But because this is the only Allure Homme release that is exclusive to Chanel, I figured down the line this might be one of the more difficult scents to get, and I figured let's get this one out of the way. Normally I think it's best to get an original scent and then pick the flankers up, but I kind of went reverse here. A lot of guys on YouTube like this scent. It's a good rating on base notes and Fragrantica, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like this scent when I picked it up. Everyone says it smells like a lemon cream pie, and well, lemon's definitely there, and there is some creaminess. I think the sweet part is missing, so I disagree with the lemon pie assertion. I find the vanilla and tonka to be pretty hard to pick up, so I kind of thought that this wasn't necessarily the scent that I had hoped it would, I guess. I kind of initially regretted not just getting Allure Homme or Allure Homme Sport or Ego East. And then the next day at work I had a presentation to give, and I wore this, and I really did feel quite empowered. I just really liked the authenticity of the juicy lemon, and it made me think of a very tart and crisp lemon. And I think that is what this scent is about. If you're looking for a lemon, a tart lemon scent that is so rich that it kind of delves into being creamy, then I think this is for you. I sort of think about it as like a low sugar lemon gelato, which of course is the Italian lemon ice cream. It's very creamy. It has less air in it, the American ice cream, so it's denser, and it's also less sweet. To me, this really does smell like good lemon gelato that you'd find in New York in places like Grom or Laboratorio del Gelato. And if you're looking for a high-end lemon scent, lots of people have orange scents and grapefruit scents, but there aren't as many lemon scents out there. And if that's what you're looking for, this scent is going to be perfect for you. And as that initial lemon zip dries down, initially it smells like fresh squeezed lemon juice. Then as you get going, that creamy lemon, you start to get the very nice back base of lemon, musk, and vetiver. That's what I get at the base of this fragrance, and this is a powerful scent. Above average longevity and projection. 3 sprays on me is plenty. 1 on my chest, 1 on my neck, 1 in the back of the neck. I'd be surprised if any men under 25, maybe even under 30, really like this scent. I feel like this is a scent where you have to have sniffed out a bunch of bad lemon scents and low-quality lemon scents to realize how well made and well blended this scent is, because it's extremely impressive. It's hard to make a scent that will mass appeal with a tart lemon as a star of the show because it's so bitter. And, you know, it's easier to make a lemon perfume, I feel like, where lemon isn't the star of the show, but it's more an additional note. And they've really done a good job here making a cologne that will have mass appeal with lemon as the star of the show. So for me, this is a 7 out of 10. This is going to be my go-to lemon scent, and I'm not sure I'll ever need another lemon scent aside from this one. The package is just okay, but I think the bottle's well done, and I do love that white cap. This is a scent that lasts and carries some decent projection. So 7 out of 10 from me. Anyway, that's going to be the show for this week. Next week, we have 2 shows coming up. The middle of the week show is going to be on, I'm going to just flat out come out and say, the best aftershave I've ever used. And then next weekend, stay tuned for my first review from the house, for a scent from the house of Nasamato, and it is not Black Afghano, it is not Pardon, and it is not Duro. So we'll leave you with that little riddle. Anyway, that is this week's episode of Maximilian Must Know. Thank you so much for watching. I am Maximilian.
Yeah, a million here, a million there. Sicilian with long hair with coconut every gear, like smoking.